So oft it chances in particular men that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, but by the o'ergrowth of some complexion, oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much o'erleavens the form of plausive manners, that these men, carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else, be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall, in the general censure, take corruption from that particular fault. The dram of evil doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal.
In his major tragedies, Shakespeare shows us the nature of evil as practiced by man and as practiced upon man.
In Macbeth, he depicts the rise and fall of a brave nobleman, made evil by ungovernable ambition. Macbeth is urged by circumstances, by his own lady, and by the force of prophecy, to kill King Duncan and to seize the crown for himself.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his subject and his kinsman, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked, newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
Ambition proves spur enough, and Duncan is murdered as he lies asleep in Macbeth's own castle.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended,
Aye.
hark. Who lies at the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder, and that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These things must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. And the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath. Balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Thou seest the heavens as troubled by man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is night's predominance, or the day's shame, that darkness does the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it? 'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed. And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind. 'Tis said they eat each other.
The life which Macbeth has won for himself through the dreadful act of murder is not the life of security and contentment he had hoped for.
The world he inhabits now is one of shadows and fearful dreams, a world in which he can find no peace or comfort except in the contemplation of worse crimes.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whiles our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our place of centerpiece, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whiles night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill.
He murders his friends, their wives, and their children, driving his former allies to England, where they raise an army to topple him. In the end, he is left without affection, without power, without hope of salvation. The only supports he has to lean on are his own blind courage and the deceitful prophecies that first tempted him to murder.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequence have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000
Geese, villain!
soldiers, sir.
Go, prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, pet? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counsellors to fear. What soldiers, wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. Seaton! I am sick at heart when I behold. Seaton, I say! This push will cheer me ever, or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf. And that which should accompany old age, as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses. Not loud, but deep. Mouth honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seaton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in't. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The Queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
In Macbeth, we are shown both human evil and evil which is beyond the human. In Hamlet, we find human evil revealed at first by supernatural means. The ghost of Prince Hamlet's father, the former king of Denmark, returns from the grave to tell his son how he was poisoned by his own sweet-seeming brother, and to urge his son to take immediate revenge.
Now, Hamlet here, 'tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, all you host of heaven, oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fire! Hold my heart, and you my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee, I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all sores of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment, all alone, shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes. Yes! By heaven! Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain. Villain. Smiling. Damned. Villain! My table's meted as I set it down, that one may smile. And smile. And be a villain. At least, I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is. Adieu. Adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it!
Hamlet's problem is how to cope with evil, and his story is one of obstacles and failures. Although he has solemnly sworn revenge, he finds to his horror and shame that he can do nothing. He pretends to be mad, or perhaps is truly driven mad by the vision of his father's ghost, by his mother's new marriage to the murderer, and by the terrible responsibility he has been forced to shoulder. He waits and thinks, but does not act, until a group of travelling players arrives at court, and to relieve his own melancholy, Hamlet requests a private performance.
Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus.
The rugged Pyrrhus. He whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble, when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot, now is he total ghouls, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and a damned light to their lord's murder. Roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. Anon he finds him, striking two shorted Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whip and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo his sword, which was declining on the milky head of reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon, the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, a roused vengeance sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor, forged for proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out! Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods, in general synod take away her power. Break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends.
Come to Hecuba.
But who, our woe, had seen the mobled queen run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison rheum, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er-teemed loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamour that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
What a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? Why, he would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze the very faculty of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John a dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pater cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Ha! Sure, I should take it, for it cannot be but that I am pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh! Vengeance! What an ass am I. This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Violent! About my brain! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the sea been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefaction. For murder, though it have no tongue, yet it will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he do but blench, I know my course. This spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and melancholy, since he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Hamlet's plan succeeds, and his uncle, King Claudius, reveals his guilt beyond all possibility of further doubt.
At the same time, Hamlet's mother, shocked and angered by her son's behavior, demands from him an explanation. On his way to his mother's chamber, Hamlet passes through the king's private chapel, where he finds Claudius steeling himself to pray to heaven for forgiveness.
For my offence is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal, eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to confront the visage of offence? And what's in prayer but this twofold force? To be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned, being down. When I'll look up, my fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. Can one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? And yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state, O bosom black as death, O limed soul that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels! Make essay, bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be softer than the sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat? Now he is praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged? That would be scanned. A villain kills my father. And for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Why, this is bait and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up sword, and know thou a more horrid head. When he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at game, a swearing, or about some act that had no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Once again, the opportunity for revenge has passed unseized. Instead, in a fury at his own indecisiveness, Hamlet mistakenly stabs and kills the old Lord Chamberlain.
For this he is sent out of the country. On his way to take ship, Hamlet meets an officer of the Norwegian army, led by a young prince, much like himself, marching fully armed to war.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purposed, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland or for some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition. We go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5, I would not farm it. Nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a ranker rate should it be sold in fee.
Why then the Polak never will defend it.
Yes, 'tis already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace, that inward breaks and shows no cause without. Why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fust in us unused? Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do. Sit I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honour's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy, a trick of fame, go to their graves like pigs. Fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, the performance will start again in 5 minutes. Please take your seats.
When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly show, as I do now.
Othello is a study of the exercise of pure evil by one man upon the noble spirit and trusting nature of another. Othello, the Moorish general, has married Desdemona, a young Venetian lady who loves him deeply, so deeply that she has followed him to war. Othello's ensign, Iago, has conceived a hatred for the Moor and is determined to bring about his downfall, to which end he sets himself the task of persuading Othello that his wife has betrayed him with Cassio, his lieutenant. At the opening of the temptation scene, Othello is at the peak of his fortune and power. At the end of the same scene, he stands, stripped of all nobility and happiness, determined to murder the person whom, in all the world, he most loves. He is the uncomprehending victim of the most perfect evil that Shakespeare conceived.
My noble lord.
What dost thou say, Iago?
Did Michael Cassio, when you wooed my lady, know of your love?
He did, from first to last. Why dost thou ask?
But for the satisfaction of my thought, no further harm.
Why of thy thought, Iago?
I did not think he had been acquainted with her.
Oh, yes, and went between us very oft.
Indeed.
Indeed. Aye, indeed. Discernst thou aught in that? Is he not honest?
Honest, my lord?
Honest, aye, honest.
My lord, for aught I know.
What dost thou think?
Think, my lord?
Think, my lord. My heaven, he echoes me as if there was some monster in his thought too hideous to be shown. Thou dost mean something. I heard thee say even now, thou likest not that when Cassio left my wife. What didst not like? And when I told thee he was of my counsel in my whole course of wooing, thou criedst, indeed, and didst contract and purse thy brow together, as if thou then had shutst up in thy brain some horrible conceit. If thou dost love me, show me thy thought.
My lord, you know I love you.
I think thou dost. And for I know thou art full of love and honest, and waste thy words before thou givest them breath. Therefore these stops of thine fright me the more. For such things in a false disloyal knave are tricks of custom, but in a man that's just, they are close dilations working from the heart that passion cannot rule.
For Michael Cassio, I dare be sworn, I think that he is honest.
I think so too.
Men should be what they seem, or those that be not would they might seem none.
Certain. Men should be what they seem.
Why then, I think Cassio's an honest man.
Nay, yet there's more in this. I prithee, speak to me as to thy thinkings, as thou dost ruminate, and give thy worst of words, the worst of thought, the worst of word.
Good my lord, pardon me. Though I am bound to every act of duty, I am not bound to that all slaves are free to. Utter my thoughts? Why? Say they are vile and false, as where's that palace wherein two foul things sometimes intrude not?
Who has a breast so pure? But some uncleanly apprehensions keep leets and law days, and in session sit with meditations lawful.
Thou dost conspire against thy friend, Iago, if thou but think'st him wronged and makes his ear a stranger to thy thought.
I do beseech you, though I perchance am vicious in my guess, as I confess it is my nature's plague to spy into abuses. And oft my jealousy shapes faults that are not, that your wisdom then, from one that so imperfectly conceits, would take no notice, nor build yourself a trouble out of his scattering and unsure observance. It were not for your quiet, nor your good, nor for mine own manhood, honesty, or wisdom, to let you know my thoughts.
What dost thou mean?
Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of their soul. Who steals my purse, steals trash. 'Tis something, nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, and shall be slave to thousands. But he that filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, and makes me poor indeed.
I'll know thy thought.
You cannot, though my heart were in your hand, nor shall not while 'tis in my custody. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster that doth mock the meat it feeds on. That cuckold lives in bliss, who, certain of his fate, loves not his wronger. But what damned minutes tells he o'er, who dotes, yet doubts, suspects, yet fondly loves.
Oh, misery.
Poor and content is rich, and rich enough. But riches findless is as poor as winter to him that ever fears he shall be poor. Good heaven, the souls of all my tribe defend from jealousy.
Why? Why is this? Think'st thou I'd make a life of jealousy, to follow still the changes of the moon with fresh suspicion? No. To be once in doubt is once resolved. Exchange me for a goat when I shall turn the business of my soul to such exsufflicate and blown surmise matching thy inference. 'Tis not to make me jealous, to say my wife is fair, loves company, is free of speech, sings, plays, and dances well. Where virtue is, these are more virtuous. Nor from mine own weak merits will I draw the smallest fear or doubt of her revolt. For she had eyes, and chose me. No, Iago, I'll see before I doubt. When I doubt, prove. And on the proof there is no more but this, away at once with love or jealousy.
I am glad of it. For now I shall have reason to show the love and duty that I bear you with franker spirit. Therefore, as I am bound, receive it from me. I speak not yet of proof. Look to your wife. Observe her well with Cassio. Wear your eye thus, not jealous, nor secure. I would not have your free and noble nature out of self-bounty be abused. Look to it. I know our country disposition well. In Venice they let heaven see the pranks they dare not show their husbands. Their best conscience is not to leave it undone, but to keep it unknown.
Dost thou say so?
She did deceive her father, marrying you. And when she seemed to shake and fear your looks, she loved them most.
And so she did.
Why then? She that so young could give out such a seeming, to seal her father's eyes up close as oak, he thought 'twas witchcraft. But I am much to blame. I humbly do beseech you of your pardon for too much loving you.
I am bound to thee forever.
I see in this hath a little dashed your spirit.
Not a jot. Not a jot.
Faith, I fear it has. I hope you will consider what is spoke comes from my love. But, my lord, I do see you're moved. I am to pray you not to strain my speech to grosser issues, nor to larger reach than to suspicion.
I will not.
Should you do so, my lord, my speech would fall into such vile success as my thoughts aimed not at. Cassio's my worthy friend. My lord, I do see that you are moved.
No, not much moved. I do not think but Desdemona's honest.
Long live she so, and long live you to think so.
And yet how nature, erring from itself...
Aye, there's the point, as to be bold with you, not to affect many proposed matches of her own clime, complexion, and degree, whereto we see in all things nature tends. One may smell in such a will most rank, foul disproportion, thoughts unnatural. Pardon me, I do not in position distinctly speak of her. Though I may fear her will, recoiling to her better judgment, may fall to match you with her country forms and happily repent.
Farewell. If more thou dost perceive, let me know more. Set on thy wife to observe. Leave me, Iago!
My lord, I take my leave.
Why did I marry? This honest creature doubtless sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds.
My lord, I would I might entreat your honour to scan this thing no further. Leave it to time. Although 'tis fit that Cassio have his place, for sure he fills it up with great ability. Yet, if you please to hold him off a while, you shall by that perceive him and his means. Note if your lady strain his entertainment with any strong or vehement importunity. Much will be seen in that. In the meantime, let me be thought too busy in my fears, as worthy cause I am to fear. And hold her free, I do beseech your honour.
Fear not my government.
I once more take my leave.
This fellow's of exceeding honesty, and knows all qualities with a learned spirit of human dealings. If I do prove her haggard, though that her jesses were my dear heartstrings, I'd whistle her off and let her down the wind to prey at fortune. Haply, for I am black, and have not those soft parts of conversation that chamberers have, or for I am declined into the vale of years. Yet that's not much. She's gone. I am abused, and my relief must be to loathe her. Oh, curse of marriage, that we can call these delicate creatures ours and not their appetites. I had rather be a toad and live upon the vapour of a dungeon than keep a corner in the thing I love for others' uses. Yet 'tis the plague of great ones. Prerogative do they, less than the great. 'Tis destiny, unshunnable, like death. Even then this forked plague is fated to us when we do quicken.
trifles, light as air, are to the jealous confirmations strong as proof of Holy Writ. The more already changes with my poison. Dangerous conceits are in their natures poison, which at the first are scarce found to distaste, but with a little act upon the blood, burn like the mines of sulphur. Not poppy, nor mandragora, nor all the drowsy syrups of the world shall ever medicine thee to that sweet sleep thou owedst yesterday.
Ha! False to me! To me!
How now, General, no more of that.
Avaunt, begone, and thou hast set me on the rack. I swear it is better to be much abused than but to note a little.
Now, my lord.
What sense had I of her stolen hours of lust? I sought not, thought it not, it harmed not me. I slept the next night well, fed well, was merry. I found not Cassio's kisses on her lips. He that is robbed, not wanting what is stolen, let him not note, and he's not robbed at all.
Sorry to hear this.
I had been happy at the general camp. Pioneers and all had tasted her sweet body, so I had nothing known. Oh, now forever, farewell the tranquil mind. Farewell content. Farewell the plumed troop, and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell. Farewell the neighing steed, and the shrill trump, the spirit-stirring drum, the ear-piercing fife, the royal banner, and all quality, pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war. And all you mortal engines, whose ruled throats the immortal Jove's dread clamours counterfeit, farewell. Othello's occupation's gone.
Is't possible, my lord?
Villain, be sure thou prove my love a whore. Be sure of it. Give me the ocular proof, or by the worth of mine eternal soul, thou hadst been better have been born a dog than answer my wait's wrath.
Come to this.
Make me to see it, or at the least so prove it that the probation bear no hinge nor loop to hang a doubt on, or woe upon thy life. If thou dost slander her and torture me, never pray more, abandon all remorse. On horror's head, horrors accumulate, do deeds to make heaven weep. O earth amazed, for nothing canst thou to damnation add greater than that.
Oh, grace! Oh, heaven forgive me! Are you a man? Have you a soul or sense? God buy you, take mine office! Oh, wretched fool, that lives to make thine honesty a vice! Oh, monstrous world, take note, O world! To be direct and honest is not safe. I thank you for this profit, and from hence I'll love no friend, sith love breeds such offence.
Nay, stay. Thou shouldst be honest.
I should be wise, for honest is a fool and loses that it works for.
By the world, I think my wife be honest, and think she is not. I think that thou art just, and think thou art not. I'll have some proof. Her name, that was as fresh as Dian's visage, is now begrimed and black, was mine own face. If there be cords or knives, poison or fire or suffocating streams, I'll not endure it. Would I were satisfied!
I see, sir, you are eaten up with passion. I do repent me that I put it to you. You would be satisfied.
What? Nay, and will?
And may. But how? How satisfied, my lord? Would you, the supervisor, grossly gape on, behold her top?
Death and damnation.
It were a tedious difficulty, I think, to bring them to that pass. Damn them, then, if ever mortal eyes do see them bolster more than their own. What How then? What shall I say? Where's satisfaction? It is impossible you should see this. Were they as prime as goats, as hot as monkeys, as salt as wolves in pride, and fools as ignorance made drunk? But, yet, I say, if imputation and strong circumstance, which lead directly to the doors of truth, would give you satisfaction, you might have it.
Give me a living reason she's disloyal.
I do not like the office. But sith I am entered in this cause so far, pricked to it by foolish honesty and love, I will go on. I lay with Cassio lately, and being troubled with a raging tooth, I could not sleep. There are a kind of men, so loose of soul, that in their sleep will mutter their affairs. One of this kind is Cassio. In sleep, I heard him say, "Sweet Desdemona, let us be wary. Let us hide our loves." And then, sir, would he gripe and wring my hand, cry, "Oh, sweet creature," then kiss me hard upon the lips, as he would pluck up kisses by the roots, then laid his leg over my thigh and sighed, kissed, and cried, "Oh, cursed fate that gave thee to the Moor."
Oh, monstrous, monstrous!
Nay, this was but his dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion. 'Tis a shrewd doubt though it be but a dream.
This may prove with other proofs that do demonstrate thinly.
I'll tear her all to pieces.
Nay, yet be wise. Yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. It was my first gift.
I know not that. But such a handkerchief, I'm sure it was your wife's. Did I today see Cassio wipe his beard with?
If it be that.
If it be that or any that was hers, it speaks against her with the other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives. One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now do I see 'tis true. Look, here Iago. All my fond love, thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance from thy hollow cell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne. Swell bosom with thy fraught, for 'tis of aspic's tongues.
Be content.
Oh, blood, blood, blood!
Patience, I say. Your mind perhaps may change.
Never, Iago. Like to the Pontic Sea, whose icy current and compulsive course near feels retiring ebb, but keeps due on to the Propontic and the Hellespont, even so my bloody thoughts with violent pace shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that are capable of wide revenge swallow them up. No, by yond marble heaven, in the due reverence of a sacred vow, I here engage my words.
Witness, you ever-burning lights above, you elements that clip us round about. Witness,
that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit, hands, heart, to wronged Othello's service. Let him command, and to obey shall be without remorse what bloody business ever.
I greet thy love, not with vain thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instant put thee to't. Within these 3 days let me hear thee say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done at your request. But let her live.
Damn her, Lord Minx. Oh, damn her! Damn her! Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to find me some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant.
I am your own. Forever.
In Othello, evil triumphs in the person and strategies of one man. In King Lear, evil is so rife that the entire state of man seems to bend under its curse.
At the climax of Lear, Shakespeare presents us with alternative ways of coping with evil. We can commit violence against those who perpetrate it, or against ourselves by suicide. We can learn to bear it with patience. We can go mad, and in our madness, see the world for what it is, a place of disproportion, chaos, and misjudgment, itself insane. The Earl of Gloucester has been blinded. In disguise, his wronged son leads him to a field near Dover Cliff.
When shall I come to the top of that same hill?
You do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Horrible steep. Hark. Do you hear the sea?
No, truly.
Why then, your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
And so may it be indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakst in better phrase and matter than thou didst.
You're much deceived. In nothing am I changed but in my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Come on, sir. Here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire. Dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yond tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock a boy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebble chafes cannot be heard so high. I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap upright.
Let go my hand. Here, friends, another purse. In it a jewel well worth the poor man's keeping. Fairies and gods, prosper it with thee. Go thou further off. Bid me farewell, and let me hear thee going.
Now, fare ye well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why I do trifle thus with his despair is done to cure it.
O you mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sights shake patiently my great affliction off. If I could bear it longer, and not fall to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my snuff and loathed part of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh bless him. Now, fellow, fare thee well.
Gone, sir. Farewell.
And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life, when life itself yields to the theft.
Had he been where he thought, by this had thought been past. Alive or dead? Who? You, sir. Friend. Hear you, sir. Speak. Thus might he pass indeed. Yet he revives. What are you, sir?
Away, and let me die.
Hadst thou been aught but gossamer, feathers, air, so many fathom down precipitating, thou'dst shivered like an egg. But thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleedst not, speakst, art sound. 10 masts at each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle. Speak yet again.
But have I fallen, or no?
From the dread summit of this chalky bourne. Look up a height. The shrill-gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up.
Alack, I have no eyes. Is wretchedness deprived that benefit to end itself by death? 'Twas yet some comfort when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will.
Give me your arm. Up. So. How is it? Feel you, your legs? You stand.
Too well. Too well.
This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you?
A poor, unfortunate beggar.
As I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses. Horns whelked and waved like the enrigid sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods, who make them honours of men's impossibilities, have preserved thee.
I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction, till it do cry out itself, enough, enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took it for a man. Often 'twould say, the fiend, the fiend. He led me to that place.
Bear free and patient thoughts.
King Lear enters, wearing on his head a crown of wild flowers.
No! They cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself. Nature's above art in that respect. There's your press money! That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard! Look. Look. Mouse. Peace. Peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it. There's my gauntlet! I'll prove it on a giant! Bring up the brown bills! Oh! Well-flown bird! In the clout! In the clout! Ooh!
I know that voice.
Huh? Goneril with a white beard. They flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there to say aye and no to everything I said. Aye and no to was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once, and the wind to make me shudder, when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found them. There I smelt them out. Go to. They are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. It is a lie. I am not ague-proof.
The trick of that voice I do well remember. Is not the king?
Aye. Every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What was the cause? Adultery. Oh, thou shalt not die. Die for adultery? Oh. The wren goes to it, and the small gilded fly does lecture in my sight. Let copulation thrive! For Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got 'tween the lawful sheets. To it! Luxury! Pell-mell! For I lack soldiers. Behold yon simpering dame, whose face between her forks presages snow, that minces virtue, and does shake the head to hear of pleasure's name. The victual nor the soiled horse goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waists their centaurs, though women all above, but to the girdle do the gods inherit, beneath is all the fiends. There's hell, there's darkness, there is the sulphurous pit, burning, scalding, stench, consumption. Fine, fine, fine.
me an ounce of civet, good apothecary. Sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss that hand.
Let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
Oh, ruined piece of nature. This great world shall so wear out to naught. Dost thou know me?
I remember thine eyes well enough.
Dost thou squinny at me? No, do thy worst, blind Cupid. I'll not love. Read thou this challenge, mark but the penning of it.
Were all thy letters suns I could not see?
Read!
What, with a case of eyes?
Oh, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse is in a light. Yet you see how this world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What? Art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yon justice rails against yon simple thief. Hark, in thine ear. Change places, and handy-dandy. Which is the justice? Which is the thief? Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar?
Aye, sir.
And the creature run from the cur? There thou mightst behold the great image of authority. A dog's obeyed in office. Thou rascal beadle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thy own back. Thou hotly lust'st to use her in that kind for which thou whipst her. The usurer hangs the cousin. Through tattered clothes, great vices do appear. Robes and furred gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice, hurtless, breaks. Arm it in rags, a pygmy's straw does pierce it. None does offend. None. I say none! I'll able 'em. Take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician seem to see the things thou dost not. Now! 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 Pull off my boots. Harder! Harder! So.
All matter and impertinency mixed. Reason in madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortune, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. Thou must have patience. We came crying hither. Thou knowest. The first time we smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee. Mark.
Alack the day.
When we are born, we cry.
That we are come to this great stage of fools. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horse with felt. I'll put it in proof. And when I have stolen on these son-in-laws, then kill. Kill!